Hey everyone, Michael Farrar here with Positive Energy Credit. Today, I want to show you guys how you can create a Google Doc spreadsheet to manage your money. And I did say manage and not budget. And the simple reason that I say manage is because when you think manage and you're managing money, you're thinking in abundance. Okay, when you think budget, you're thinking in scarcity. We don't want to think in scarcity because the more you think in scarcity, the less it's going to come in. We want to change that mindset into abundance, so more money will come in. So what you focus on is going to grow. So along with getting your credit score way up in the 800s so you can apply for any loans, credit cards, whatever you want, we're going to show you how we can start taking a look at where we're spending our money, how we're spending our money, what income coming in, and then how we can, manage it to make that income go higher than the amount that we're spending. Again, manage is the key, thinking in abundance. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to Google here. We're just going to do Google Docs. So do a quick search for Google Docs. If you already have a Gmail account, a Google account, you should already have a Google Doc account. So we'll just go ahead and click on Google Docs. If it asks you to sign in, go ahead and sign in. But the first thing that we want to do is we're going to go to Google Sheets. And we're going to do a blank sheet. All right, so here's where we're going to start building out our spreadsheet. All right, so the very first thing that we want to do is we're going to build our tabs here. So we're going to name this one Bills. So this is where we're going to put all of our household bills, mortgages, household insurance, car insurance, stuff like that, the normal bills that you get, okay? So at the top, we're going to create our header. We're going to do date/month. And then we're going to do description so we know what it is. And then after that, we are going to do total. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to create January. I spelled that right, which I think I did. So we do January. We're going to leave the description, and then we're going to do the total. But here we want to total up everything for the month of January. Okay, so we're going to do a simple formula, which is going to be equal sum. And we're going to do everything that's in column C. So we're going to use C. And then as you can see, 3 here is going to be the first one. Is going to be 3. And then let's just go down to 20 to make it simple. C20. And we're going to hit enter. Okay, so now this is going to calculate everything that we put in these rows here. And see how it's just a 0? With Google Docs, if we just click this $sign, it's going to change it into currency for us. All right. We're going to go ahead and change the color of this just to make it look a little bit better for us so we can keep it nice and neat. So now we got that. We're going to bold it out. And the next thing we want to do is we want to bold this. And then next to total here, we're going to want to total up everything for the full year. Okay, so this is going to be our running total, not just our monthly total. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do C3. Whoops. We're going to do equal sum. We're going to do C3. And then we hit the colon sign. And we're just going to go to C1000. Because again, we just want to go all the way down reading for the full month. Okay? And again, as you see, it's the regular 0. We want to change that. We just hit the $sign. It's going to change it to currency for us. And since this is bills, we're going to go ahead and change this to red. Whoops. We want to change this to white. This isn't working. Hold on. We want to fill it as red. There we go. And then we want to change this to white. No, I just did that backwards. I don't know what I'm doing here. Red, and then we want to change this to white. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna make it bold. So you just hit the B here. We're gonna expand description because I'm sure you're gonna have to explain what it is. So now we have the month of January and then our totals here. Okay. So next thing we want to do is we want to take January. We're just gonna simply hold Control C to copy. Okay. And then we're going to go down to 21, and we're going to hit Control V, and we're going to change January to March, or February, I'm sorry. All right. So we're going to change that to February. And then this should automatically already start the total. So as you see, it's doing sum C22 and it's going down to C39. So the next time that we would do is we would go down to C40 and then we would do this again and then we would make this March. And so forth and so on. Now you see how this is going away, the top here? What we want to do is we want to go to View, and then we want to do Freeze, and we want to do one row. So it's going to freeze the top row for us, okay? So next thing we want to do is we want to create our next tab, which this is going to be for all of our purchases. You can name these whatever you want, okay? I'm just doing it for simplicity purposes. So we're just going to do purchases. So what are purchases? Anything you buy on Amazon, you go to the store, you buy groceries, you go buy stamps, anything that you buy other than your normal household bills, okay? You just want to make sure that we're keeping track of everything that we're spending, okay? Now the next thing we can do is we just go back here to go back to the bills tab, and we're just going to highlight here. So if you hold shift and your arrow to the right, it'll highlight everything. And then we're just going to go down and then highlight to February here. We're going to hit Control C is going to copy, okay? We're going to go back to purchases. We're going to select the first one and hit Control V as in Victor to paste. And now you can see we already pasted this format, okay? And of course you will go through and do January all the way down to December. But just to keep this video short, we're just going to do the first 2 months here, all right? Now that we have this in place, let's move this over. We're going to put values in here to show you how this all works here in just a second. The next tab that we want to create, we're going to do this for all of our gas, okay? So we can see how much we're spending on fuel or gas each and every month, okay? So once we have the gas tab, we're just going to go back to purchases or bills or whatever. We're just going to highlight these again. Hit Control C, go to gas, tap the top, and hit Control V. Okay, so now this is going to fill this in for us, and then we have this one done. Now the next one that we're going to create is going to be income. All right, so this is going to be our tab that we're going to keep track of all of our income that comes in, whether it's from your job, whether it's from your, if you have any side hustles or you have multiple businesses or whatever you have, this is where we're going to keep track of it. Okay, if you're married, your husband, wife, we're going to keep track of all the money coming into the household right here. Okay, so the very first thing that we want to do is we're going to change this a little bit up here. So the first one, we're going to do date/month, and then now we're going to do description, which this is going to be where the money came from. We're going to do income. This will be the total income. And then we're going to go over a few here. Let's see. We're going to go to, now this is where we're going to do profit loss. All right. So this is, we're thinking like a business now. We're thinking like managing our money. This is going to show us how much either we're profitable at the end of the year, end of the month, or we're in the negative at the end of the year, end of the month. Okay, this way we can see it, and then we can think about it differently, and we can find ways, to see where we can go about fixing that. And then the next one we're going to do is total cost. So this is going to be the total cost for the year. And then of course the last one is we're going to have percent profit and loss year to date. Okay, so this is going to show us the total profit and loss year to date, and I'll show you how to fill in those formulas in just a second. So the next thing that we want to do is let's create January, and then here we're going to do the total for January. Okay, so we're going to do equal sum. And we're going to do everything in the C row. So we're going to do C3. And then we're going to go down to, let's just do C10. Okay. All right. So again, we want to change this into currency. So we're going to do that. We're going to neat this up real quick. So we're going to change the color of this again. We're going to fill it we'll pick blue. We'll change the writing to white. We did it right that time. We're going to go ahead and bold it. And now the top, we're going to highlight all of this all the way over to here. We're going to fill this color. Let's make it like a light blue. We're going to make this bold. All right, so now the income. We want to do the total for the year up here. So we're going to do equal sum. We're going to do everything in column C. Okay, so we're going to do C3, and then we'll just do C1000 because we're going all the way down. Okay, and then again, we want to change this to currency. So there's that. And next we want to do profit and loss. Okay, so this is going to be all of our expenses minus our income. Okay, so we're going to do, here we're going to do equal sum. All right, and we're going to do all of our income, so D1 minus all of our total cost, okay, which is going to be in J1. All right, so how do we get our total cost since we have multiple sheets, right? So we want to tally up everything from the one sheet over to the other sheet. So real simple, we're going to do our equal sum again. Okay, so we're going to do equal sum. Then you're going to do your parentheses. Okay, so your first value. So we want to get everything from the bills. Okay, so we're going to click on the bills tab. All right, and then we're going to click on the total up here. So now we're going to grab the total from here. Next, we want to hit a little comma. Okay, so then we want to click on our purchase tab. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on D1. All right, hit comma one more time. And then we're going to go to gas. And then we're going to hit on D1 again. We're going to close that parentheses and hit enter. Okay, so now we're going to pull in the totals from all of those different sheets. Okay, hopefully you're following me along here. So now the percentage of loss and profit, we want to take the total of all of our expenses divided by the amount of income. Okay, so we're going to equal sum, and then we're going to divide by all of our expenses, which is going to be in G1, so G1, and we're going to divide by our total income, which we're keeping track in D1, so D1. All right, and then this we're going to want to make as a percentage, so we're going to click on format, we're going to go to number, and we're going to do percentage. Okay, so that will do the percentage of that. All right, so now let's just add February here as we went down to C10. So C11, we're going to make a nice black line just to separate the two. All right, we're simply just going to copy this. We're going to go down here, and then we're going to call this February. I don't know why, but I always have a hard time spelling February. I may have spelled it right, I don't know. Okay, so there's February. All right, we got January, February, and then now we want to, this is our income, we do purchases and gas. Okay, so the last tab that we want to create is our year-to-date tab. Okay, this is where we're going to keep track of everything. We'll see it in charts, spreadsheets. So we're going to go ahead and click the plus button. And let me rename this to year-to-date. All right. And then now the first thing that we want to do is we want to do year-to-date income. Second one we want to do is year-to-date bills. The third one we want to do is year-to-date purchases. And then we want to do year-to-date gas. And then now we want to do year-to-date costs. So this is going to be the total of all of those, your year-to-date total costs. And then we're going to do year-to-date, we're going to do profit / loss percentage. So we want to do the percentage of that. Okay? So we got that here. And then, so how do we get the year-to-date income? Again, we want to go ahead and grab it from our income sheet. So we're going to do equals sum. We're going to do equals sum. And then we're going to go ahead and click on our income tab. And we're going to go ahead and click on D1 because this is where it's going to total up for the full year. Okay, so D1, we're going to close the parentheses, hit enter. So now that's in there. Year-to-date bills, we're going to do equals sum. And then we're going to go ahead and click on the bills tab. And then we're going to click D1 and then close the parentheses. And now we have that. Year-to-date purchases, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get equals sum. We're going to go ahead and click on purchases, D1, close parentheses, and hit enter. Year-to-date gas, we're going to go ahead and do equals sum. Go ahead and click on gas, D1, which we totally screwed up there, so all you gotta do is just delete this, do equals sum, hit gas, D1, and then close the parentheses. Now we're good. Now year-to-date costs, we're just going to add up all of these. Okay, so we're going to do equals sum, and we're going to do B2 colon to D2. All right, so that'll add up all of those together for us. Now, year-to-date profit, we're going to want to do all of our total cost divide by our total income. Okay, so we're going to do equals sum. We're going to divide it by our total cost, which is going to be in E2, divide by our total income, which is in A2. Okay? And then for this one, we want to do format, and we want to do a percentage. All right? So now let's add some color to this here, because I like color. You can pick whatever color you want. And then we'll make this white, make it bold. And then for this, I want to do bold. And then for all of these rows right here, I just want it centered. So I'm going to make it center line. Now, next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a black divider. And this is where we're going to keep track of our monthly totals. All right, so we're going to do month, total income, and total spending. All right. And then after I put all that in there, we want to change it to white so you can see it. There we go. We're going to bold it. And then for January, we're going to put January. And we're going to do February. Again, probably spelled it wrong, but it's all right. So real simple, we're going to do equals sum. We're going to go ahead and go to our income tab, and we're going to click on B2 because that's where our total income is going to be for January. Close the parentheses, hit enter. Total spending, we're going to hit equals sum. And then this is where we're going to have to do each one of them, okay? So we're going to do bills. And then we're going to do January, comma, purchases, B2, comma, gas, B2, close parentheses. Okay, so now we have all of that for January and February. And then now all we do is copy these two, which is Control C, and then hit Control V, and it'll go ahead and paste that down. Now, if you look at the formula, it's going to be off, okay? But we can change that, which I will show you how to change this real quick, all right? So let me go ahead and start adding some values. I'll just add a couple in here to show you. I'll pause the video, I'll put in the rest of the stuff, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you how to add the chart, okay? So January, let's just go ahead and say we have our mortgage is due on the 1st, mortgage / rent. Let's say that's $2,000. All right. Now, as you can see, that's not formatted. So we go ahead and hit this. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Control, Shift, and down. That's going to highlight every cell in there. Now I'm just going to hit the $sign. now it's formatted all together. Then just hit left to bring you back up. And then now let's say that we have, I don't know, let's say our cable. All right, let's say that's $250. All right, and then now let's say that we have our car insurance, which let's say it's $130. All right, so we got some of that in there. Let's add some purchases here. Let's say we went to the store and we got some groceries. I'm having hell. I don't know. Okay, let's say we got some groceries. Let's say it was $150. Same thing, it's not formatted, right? So we're gonna do Control Shift down. We're gonna kick the dollar sign up here, click left, and come back up. All right. And now let's say that on the 10th we purchased something on Amazon for $25. All right. So now we have some purchases in there. We're gonna go to gas. We got to fill up the car. Gas, it's $56. Same thing, we're going to highlight it, Control Shift down, click the dollar sign, click the left arrow to bring us back up. Now we have our totals. All right. Good thing is we got paid on the 5th. Our paycheck was $2,500. Oops. So this is where you're going to put your job. All right. So whatever your job is, whoever you work for, I would put in the name of that company here. Okay, so we had our job, we got paid $2,500. Again, we want to do Control Shift down to highlight the full section, hit the dollar sign, hit the left arrow to get us back up. And let's say that on the 10th, we got a deposit from a side hustle that we do. Okay, so let's just do side hustle. And let's say it was $150. All right, so now we got some income in there. All right, and let's say, I don't know, the wife got paid. All right, so wife job, and she got paid $2,500. All right, so now we got some income. So if we click on a year-to-date tab, we can see how everything's adding up here for us. Okay, I forgot to add a few things on the income side. So let me do that real quick. So we want to tally up the total profit and loss for each month. Okay, so here we're going to do equals sum. All right, and then we're going to want to do the total of our income minus the total of our cost. Okay, so B2, which is the total income, minus, and then we're going to do J2, which we're going to get that all up here. All right. So now total cost we want to get for the month of January. We're going to do equals sum. And then we're going to click on bills. And then we want to get January. So we click on that, hit comma, click on purchases, B1, comma. We're going to go to gas, click on B2, and then we're going to close it, hit enter. So now we have our total cost for the month, which we're going to go ahead and make this red because that's not what we want. And then we're going to make this, we're going to make this green. We're going to make it bold. Let me do a little bit lighter shade of green. And then here we want to do a percentage for each month. Okay, so we're going to do equal sum. And then now we want to divide our total profit and loss by our total income. Okay, so we're going to do G, and then we're going to do 2, divide by B2. Okay, and now we're going to do format, we're going to do number, and we're going to do percentage. All right, and then we're also going to make this green and make that bold. So there you have it. So that's how we're going to do it. Now, To go on to our next, month, if I just highlight this, hit Control C, and I come down here and I hit Control V, it got it all in there for us. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this. So let me pause this video, let me fill it in, and then I'll come back and then I'll show you how to make the charts. Okay, so bear with me here. Alright guys, welcome back here. I went ahead and filled in some totals here. I just went to September, and again, I'm just using random numbers. So let's go and look at bills. So as you can see, our bills, we got our mortgage, our rent, cable, car insurance, water, house insurance, car loans, electric bill, gas. Kind of changed up a little bit, but your monthly bills aren't going to change too much. This is going too far down. Uh, 31. So I just wanted to keep it pretty easy to kind of put them all in here. But as you can see, everything's in here for all the way to September. Now, when you come to the end of the month, so if you're adding October, you would just go ahead and copy this. Say we copy September, and then we're going to paste it down here. And then we'll just change September to October for the month. And as you can see, it's already going to start at C93 to C110. So the minute you have, your first bill in October, should I hit numlock? So when you have your first bill in October, you just put it in here. So mortgage / rent, $2,000. It'll go ahead and start telling it up for you. Okay, this is going too far. So if you ever see it just re-adding, you just got to go, and we want this to end at C91. You see, that's the last one. So then that'll fix that there. Okay. So purchases, again, I just went ahead and added random numbers here. We got groceries, Amazon purchases. Again, groceries, Walmart, Costco, Sam's, Amazon, just random things. You go out if you have to fix the car and you can buy some car parts or whatever, you put that in here. Now, let's say that you have a month that you tallied up everything and you see your receipt that you didn't include in that month. Okay, you can simply come back here. So let's say January. If you just click on this row 9 here, if you go and right click and then just do insert one row above. Okay, so then now we have that. So let's say we add in this other receipt that we had a party. So party expenses, And let's say the party was, I don't know, $80. So we bought some food. See, now this fixed that total. It automatically is going to include that total in that tally for you, okay? So we have January, February, March, April, May, June, September. Again, when you get to October, you just want to copy this last one or whatever month. So Control C copies, Control V will paste. And then we'll just rename this to October. And then again, we went to our groceries. And it was $150 for that month. See, it's already telling it up for you. Make sure that this isn't going. It is, so I don't know why it keeps doing that, but just keep in mind it may just keep going down. So you just have to change the last one just to make sure that you're only calculating what's in for that month. Okay, so gas, again, I just put some random numbers in here. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September. And again, when we come to October, I didn't change these dates. So we have October. And then we had our first fill up on the 5th of October. We got gas, and it was $58. We can see it's adding up here, and this one's adding up nice. Now, I was just copying and pasting these totals, so if you ever have to change a series of numbers, you can do that with Control H. Just do that, and then let me just do September real quick. But if you hit Control H, you can tell it what I want it to find. I want it to find all the 7 slashes, and I want to change it to 8 slashes. So then we have everything. I'm sorry. We're going to do 8 slashes to 9 slashes. There we go. Okay. So now we have that. So now let's go to our income. Again, I just put in some random numbers. I'm going to show you how to fix all these errors that we have here. So we have our January income, both of the jobs, husband, wife, any side hustle income that comes in. So for the month, we had total costs of $5,842 for January. Total income of $15,650. So we had a net profit of $9,808, which was a 62.67% profit. Again, these numbers are just made up. So they're going to be whatever they're going to be when you enter them, okay? So as we can see here, as we're copying and pasting, we have errors here, right? So this right here is not pulling the right amount of money. So it's right now it's subtracting B2 from J20, right? But we don't have anything in J20. J20, let me freeze this. Views, freeze, first row. Okay. So J20 is going to be our total profit for the month. But it's going to get that total from our total cost, which we have nothing here. Okay, as you see, it's rough. So the easiest way to do it is if we hit equal sum, and then we're going to get all the cost for March. So again, we go to the bills tab, and then we go to March. We're going to click on March. We're going to do comma. We're going to do purchases. We're going to go to March. Okay, we're going to hit comma. We're going to go to gas. We're going to go to March. And then we're going to close it and hit enter. Okay, so now it tallied it all up here for us. Okay, so that's how we do it nice and easily. Let me pause it real quick and do the rest of these, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I went ahead and fixed all this in here now, so you can see that we have January, our total income, minus our total cost. So this was our total profit for the year, and this was a percentage. And again, we just did that for each one of the months. Again, these are just numbers I put in here. So when you come to October for the next month, you want to go ahead and then simply just start at the black line. You're going to hit Control, and then we're going to hit Control C to copy all this, and then we're going to hit Control V. Okay, and again, to highlight everything, you just hold Shift and you hit the right button or the left button and then down. Okay, so Shift, right, got all the cells, and then I was continue to hold Shift down, that copied the two levels there. Okay, so now we're just going to rename this to October. All right, and then as we see here, this is pulling from B91, B84, and B75. Okay, they're all going to be wrong. So the simplest way to do it for October, again, is just going to do equal sum. Okay, you're going to go bills. You're going to click on the total for October, hit the comma, go to purchases. You're going to go down to October, hit the total for that one, and then you're going to go ahead and go to gas, and then you're going to click on that, and then you're going to close it. Okay, so that's going to start adding up everything here for you. All right, now when you go ahead and add, so let's say that we have another bill, which normally the bills aren't going to change. So let's say that our cable bill came in again, and it's $250. All right, so we see how that number added. If we go to year to date, if we go to income, we can see that also added here. Okay, and this is going to be an error right now because we don't have any income yet. All right, we haven't put that in just yet. Okay, so let's go over to the year to date tab. As we can see here, we have our total year to date income, we have our total year to date bills, we have our total year to date purchases, our year to date gas, our total year to date costs, so all these together, and then our year to date profit. Okay, and here we're tallying up everything income versus our spending, which this is how we're going to create our graph. Okay, so if we go ahead and make October, so income, you're going to do equal sum, and then you're just going to grab it from the income for October, which we haven't added anything yet, but we'll just go ahead and grab it. All right, and then total spending, we're going to do equal sum, and then we're going to grab all of them for October. Okay, so we go to bills, and then we're going to do October, comma, purchases, October, comma, gas, October, close it, and now we have that here. Okay, so this is coming to the end here. Now I'm going to show you how to make the graph. Graphs are really easy. The first one that we're going to make is we're going to make a pie graph. Okay, so we're just going to, again, click on the first A1, and then you're going to hold shift and then the right button. Okay, all the way till you get to year-to-date profit loss. And then we're going to do shift down. So now all that's highlighted. See that? Everything's highlighted here. We're going to do insert. We're going to do chart. Okay. And then we are going to change the chart to a pie. So now we can see all of where our income is and what's being spent on. Okay. And that's going to update throughout the year as things go through. Okay. Now we want to see a graph on how our income versus our spending is. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on month, and then we're going to hold shift and hit right over 3 times, and then we're going to hit down all the way down to October, which again, when you have November and December in there, you also include that. But then we're going to go to insert. We're going to insert a chart, and then it automatically already has this on here. Okay, you can go ahead and start customizing your charts, adding the chart style. You know, like maybe you want it 3D, you can change it 3D. You can do how you want. Okay, you can play with this. But really simple for this video, this is how you're going to get your total income for the year. Let's make this a little bit smaller and pull this up. All right. So now as you can see, we have our total income versus our total spending, which in this hypothetical situation is awesome, right? We have much more income coming in than we do going out. Usually it's going to be flip-flopped, right? But the key here is we can concentrate on managing our money and understanding where our money is going, so we can change our mindset of let's get us out of debt, you know, which is a scarcity mindset, to get into how can we get more profitable, which is going to be an abundant mindset, right? It's not, hey, let's lower our bills. That's never the right answer to anything. It's not let's lower our bills. Let's figure out how to get more income to offset the bills, right? Because now you're thinking in abundance instead of scarcity. So I hope you found this video useful. Again, this is a quick way that you can create a Google spreadsheet to manage your money, to keep track of your spending, keep track of all your bills, keep track of all your purchases, keep track of all your gas, and then keep track of all your income to see at the end of the year, and even while you're in, you know, during the year, to see where you may have to focus. Because what you focus on expands, right? So if we want to focus on getting more money into the household, how can we do that? Maybe it's adding a side hustle. Maybe it's, you know, doing various different ways of getting multiple sources of income, because that's the key. So again, I hope this video found it useful. If you have any questions on creating these spreadsheets, please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. But again, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.